Welcome back to Computer Applications. Hi, this is Mrs. Hoffman, and we are going to begin our study of Google Spreadsheets today. I've opened up my Google Drive, and I'm going to begin by going to my Computer Applications folder and going right into my Spreadsheet folder so that my new file will be created in here. So we're going to go ahead and click on Create, and then we're going to go down to Spreadsheet. Google Spreadsheet is a tool that you would use to manipulate numerical data. So when we think of Google Documents, you think of word processing, writing reports, writing letters, writing memos, writing resume, correspondence such as that. When you think of spreadsheets, you want to think about numbers and manipulating numbers and using formulas and being able to convert your numbers into a nice chart that will display your information nicely. And so the spreadsheet looks like this. It's made up of columns, which are lettered, and rows, which are numbered. And the intersection of a column and a row is called a cell. And the cell has a name, and that name is identified by its cell address, which is a combination of its column letter and row number. So this cell right here would be called cell A3. Now, a spreadsheet, as I said before, is very helpful and useful when you are working with numbers. So you think of budgets and financial statements and sales data and all kinds of things. You can have spreadsheets for grades. You can have spreadsheets for your personal budget, for a profit and loss statement for a company. You could have it for tracking sales or expenses or anything like that. Spreadsheets are very handy for all those purposes. So the first thing I want you to remember and put to memory are the three strengths of a spreadsheet and what they're helpful and useful for. So the first one is that spreadsheets are helpful for to allow you to easily manipulate numerical data. That's number one. The second thing that spreadsheets are handy for is that they allow you to convert numerical data into charts, like line charts, bar charts, column charts, pie charts. And the third strength of spreadsheets is that it allows the user to perform what we call what if scenarios. Now, a what if scenario is just what it says. And I'm going to expand on that a little bit. What if scenarios using formulas. Formulas are really important with spreadsheets. So, for example, when you use formulas, you tell the computer to, manipulate a set of numbers that are in cells through the use of a formula, which we're going to learn all about. And then, if you go ahead and you change one of the numbers that are used within the formula, you can see, well, what if we earned $300 more, every month? How much would we have at the end of the year? And you could do, what if we cut our expenses by 5%? What would that do to our bottom line in terms of our profit? What if, we got a cheaper form of cable? What would that look like in our personal home budget? So it lets you change numbers that are used in formulas, and then you can see how the end result changes, and that's really powerful. The use of formulas is very powerful in Excel. Okay, so let's first talk about saving our spreadsheet. We save it just like we did the Google Doc. You just click on it, and we're just going to call this one the practice spreadsheet. And then you can also, after you save it, you can make a copy of it if you want to create a copy of that, you can do that. And just going to come on down here a little bit. Now, when you are working with your spreadsheet, you can also import a spreadsheet from an existing spreadsheet. So if you had like an Excel spreadsheet that you already had done and you want to bring it into Google Spreadsheet so that you can manipulate it and share it and all that kind of stuff, of course it operates very easily like that. You just simply do it just like we did with the documents. You just do File. You can import this way, and you can choose the file to upload, or when you're back out at your drive, you can just simply upload a file from there. So those are two ways that you can bring a file in. So let's just go back here and do it this way. Actually, it'll import it into this existing file. So really, I should upload. I'm going to do a new one. I'm going to upload a file, my personal spreadsheet that I have. And so now, and I have my conversion still on. Remember how we did that? We had gone over to our wheel, and we went to our settings, and we went to the upload settings. So remember that if you don't have conversion on, it'll just leave it in its original format. And the problem with that is that you can't manipulate it or change it in Google Spreadsheet. You can just simply look at it, but you'd have to bring it back out to Excel or whatever to manipulate it. So there we are. So there's the spreadsheet there, and you can see that it's been converted, and you can just open it up and you can use it. And I'm just going to show you a couple things because this spreadsheet actually has some formulas and things in it. So I'll just show you this real quick. So this is an example of a spreadsheet here, and in this particular case, as you can tell, it's a game that some friends and I were playing, a weight loss game or whatever. And so you can see here that I have, if I click in this cell J3, you can see in the formula bar up here, you can see that there's a formula that is a sum and then C3 colon I3. And basically the way that you read that is that sum means to add, so it adds up whatever is in cells C3 through I3. So from here all the way over to here to get the total there. And so just for example, the what if issue, if I type in a 90 here instead, what if I only got 90 points on Sunday? That changes my total points. So that's a great way to see the what if. And of course there's other formulas in here which we'll get into later on. So that's how you upload. Okay, so that's it for this lesson, and jot down those 3 strengths. Remember what they were. Easily manipulate numerical data in Excel, allow to convert numerical data into charts, which we'll learn to do, and allow the user to perform what-if scenarios using formulas. Alright, that's it for this lesson, and we'll see you next time.